All right, little intro for YouTube. Welcome to today's analysis session. It's gonna be pretty long, pretty long. Um, there are five submissions today, so quite a lot. And as always, if you have any questions about any of the concepts or anything that I'm going over, feel free to leave a comment. In essence, the reason I even do this in the first place is to help people improve. So if you're having trouble understanding like some of the stuff I'm going over, just ask. I'll usually I try to answer the comments that are worth answering. It's not some of y'all be leaving crazy ass comments, but oh, you know what? I have this shit set on shuffle. Okay, so starting off with Vermeer against Nitro, and it's funny because it's like I get to watch two people that I've done a lot of coaching with fight each other, which, you know, hopefully this can happen offline, because Vermeer is likely going to be going to France for regionals, so that'll be cool. Be cool to see them fight. But then we get started here. You even turned on inputs too. I wish you would take this off the screen though. Like when you submit, I don't need this. The input history is enough. I actually don't even need the input history, but if you want to put it there, don't put this on there, because it just kind of clutters the screen a little bit. Gonna take the knockdown. Yep. Okay. You have no assist here, so I'm gonna be a little bit careful. Yeah, there's the DR. So like this DR is one that you'll see people do a lot, but it is one that you got to be careful, because you do have no assist here. So obviously, if Nitro is gonna challenge anywhere, like this is probably like his highest percentage place. But the DR is like okay, because of course your assist starts cooling down immediately after you after DR gets teched, and also like 16 is gonna beat most of like characters' options post DR break. There are a few characters that beat him in that situation, but Blue Goku's not one of them, just because it takes too much time for it to go off. Okay, tried to go empty grab. Nitro's gonna get his offense started. You guys can do assist. And you still stuck in the blender a little bit there. You didn't have to take a 50-50 though, so that kind of worked out for you even still. Nice grab. There are situations where like you'll try to do that and you'll end up like getting hit and shit. Really awkward, but that worked out nicely for you. That was really good transition from Nitro. He was greedy on this though. So what he does is he does the jabs to deny your airspace. Right? This is like this is dual purpose, right? It stops you from approaching, and it also lets him avoid the Vegito assist, so it just straight up whiffs. And he transitions into ball. This is extremely hard to deal with. It doesn't jail. It doesn't jail in this situation because JLs don't actually have all that much block stun, so you don't take the extra block stun from being jailed to the ground. Like you take the 2 extra frames for air blocking, but you don't take the 4 extra for getting jailed to the ground. And so the like L's into ball will never, like almost never jail. However, it's so hard to deal with because the way the camera works, like the camera warps in a way, and it can be very, very hard to like respond in time. So I don't blame you for taking this here. That's hard to deal with. You probably landed and then tried to jump again and got hit on your startup. He misses the combo though, so kind of luck out in that regard. Trades. Nice, confirm. Okay. Good drop combo. Oh yeah. Good on his part. Oh, but he's dropping combos. He's dropping combos. Probably get 16 out. Even if you have to spend a meter. Okay. And just yeah. So like in this situation, right? Like you kind of know better because you have no assist, right? And he also has a character in that's low health. Like obviously Nitro understands the importance of the health resource game, and so he's gonna do everything possible to not play with a low health Kid Buu that's gonna die in one hit. So being a little bit more patient in these situations goes a long way. Thank you, Soul Song. Thank you. The punish on his part as well. Kind of freaking out on your pad over there, your hitbox. Yeah, good tech. Yeah, yeah. I think that even goes through the OS that Broly has because it's multi-hit. I wouldn't really worry about Spark Baits here. He has no meter. I would really just press it. Yeah. Agreed. He might spark back here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Really dangerous spending this double jump before you tag. Because think about the situation that your character is going to be in after you tag out. So you double jump here, which is okay. But like the problem is doing double jump and attack because this is a lot of time. Like you give him a lot of time to 2H. Like he's even actionable this entire time. So you will get 2H'd on this. Like there will be people that 2H this. And even if you don't, right, now you're in the situation where you've raw tagged in, but Vegito doesn't have an air resource left. He doesn't have a jump or anything left. So Nitro gets a free turn here no matter what, pretty much. And so if you're going to tag there, I would rather you not burn your double jump so that the tag happens faster, makes it harder to 2H. And also your Vegito has an air resource to play with afterwards, which is valuable because you're in sparking. So like having that backdash or forward dash available is really good given the situation, because this is just a free turn for him. You're gonna hold this. Yeah, that's hard to do. That's hard to block, but you can block it. You probably haven't seen that option many times though, so you weren't ready. Okay, this is a true. Okay, goes high again. He's air dashing a little early. Like he's air dashing pretty high up. He should wait a little bit longer to press his M, so he's lower to the ground. So this is more ambiguous, but yeah, always got to be careful. UI has like one of the best 6Ms in the game because of the way M Gatlings works. So like, you know, his 5M is 2 hits and the second hit is low. And so at any point after the first hit of the 5M makes contact, he can cancel into 6M. So you kind of always got to be looking for it, especially when he's in Spark. He gets a full combo here. If he wasn't in Spark, then I'd be like, okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. You get hit by 6M and then you just, you know, he's +3. It's like not that big of a deal. But in Spark, you gotta always look for it, especially from UI, because like I said, he's stronger than most characters. Yep, projectile invulnerability. So this is a good option on his part. And like, so teams like Nitros are gonna test. They're gonna test your metal a lot because you're running double Ki Blast assist, and we've talked about this before. You're running double Ki Blast assist, and he's running a team that has 2 characters with really strong projectile or Ki Blast invulnerabilities, and so he has the ability to check you on these things. And so you really got to be aware of the options. Or else, like, you know, you're gonna get reversaled on quite a lot. So like, you have the UI flips to worry about. I think you also have, you know, EX tackle from Blue Goku, right? Frame 1 Ki Blast invulnerable. You like always have to be aware. You can't afford to like get complacent and just kind of, you know, autopilot your strings. Against other teams it will be fine, but against this team with running double strong invulnerability, like you can't afford to take the risk like that. Okay. And then, oh, okay, that was close. This looks like an accident. He dashes in. He dashes into the JL. I think you do. I think this was an accident. I think you were trying to 2L maybe, and accidentally got a back input, and so you got 2 and 4L. That looked like an accident. And then you tried to escape and you got hit. Yeah, you air whack dashed here. That's why you got hit. So like this is kind of chaos. Like it's hard to like make heads or tails of what's happening here, because you miss input and then you're like, oh shit, like I really don't want to get punished. But like you actually could have blocked, right? Because you get hit on your dash. Like you can see the dash lines. This means you were in your back dash. You were in your dash. The dash was active, so you got hit on your dash. So you could have blocked. Getting jailed to the ground by Kid Buu is not the best situation, but it's better than eating the hit here. But yeah, it's kind of a chaotic scenario. It's one that's not the easiest to deal with. So I'm not really too caught up on that. And then you wiggled here, you get counter hit. You probably did EX. Kid Buu in particular has really strong Oki against 16 because he can Oki with his extremely fast Ki Blast, which will meteor grab and just punish you for it. So probably want to bias towards it a little bit less on him. Blue Goku also has pretty strong Ki Blast Oki as well. It's very valuable against 16. So. Check with 2L, like you do. I think you would have teched that if you teched with DR instead, but nice. You caught him holding up there, I think. Actually, no, he pressed. Pretty funny. Didn't block low. I think this is still plus on reflect, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's still plus on reflect. Consider sparking here, or holding tag. So yeah, so I think you did fake X here, which is good. It's really good against players like Nitro. And to that end, like Red, right? Like this shit is really good against him because you show X, and Nitro is 100% looking for the X here, because he knows that you're low health. Hold on, I have to get my Alright, so like he shows X right here, right? He shows X right here, and so Nitro is looking at the X. And so he backs off so he can 2H raw tag. And then Vermeer lets go. Right. He lets go and just calls assist. This is really good. This is really good in this situation. You can even take a free tag with this into Broly. Yeah, this is really good. This is good. That is if you mix that in, with like actually doing raw tag, like it's really hard. It's really hard for people to snipe your low health characters. So I really like that. Kind of caught his hands in the cookie jar there. This string was really not thought out. Like, can't miss that confirm. I really don't like to see you miss that confirm, but it's okay. You went into charge though with no assist. I don't really understand the idea behind this one, honestly. But it worked out. Like, pretty weird. Okay. So like you do 214L and then I think you jump immediately after it whiffs. You have time to 2H this though. Like look how much time, like you jumped immediately, right? You could just stay on the ground and 2H him here. That is an option that you have available to you. That's a good challenge. A good challenge. Especially with no assist available. Good. So game philosophy, there's a weird thing that happens to Dragon Ball players, and that is like when you stop them from jumping out once, well at least this only really happens to like probably like high level players. I wouldn't say this is the case for mid levels, but high level and top level players, there's like this weird phenomenon where like you stop them from up backing out of something. Like you see how he tries to jump and you jail him to the ground here. They're scared to jump again a lot of the time because they're like, oh shit, that didn't work. And so they're like, you know, trying to not get hit on their jump startup this time around. So I don't know. That's really good for like a team like yours that runs a bunch of command grabs. That is super greedy. You're crazy. Don't do this. Yeah, just don't do this. There's too many ways it can go wrong. Max delay wake up smokes you. Here he did slight delay wake up and then jumped. He gets a full punish for that. It's not worth it. You're better off just meeting or like just, you know, just waiting and to do L grab. Like there's no point into charging an EX there. Like so greedy. In essence, like, right, putting on the shield is really strong and everything with Broly because like the visual obscurity, but Nitro knows your assist situation. So even though you're Broly and you know you have the barrier up, he still knows that you only have so many things that you can do because you're a solo character, and so it's really hard for you to cover a bunch of different things at once, despite the fact that it's hard to see Broly and what he's doing in that situation. You gotta be careful for. Okay, he hasn't shown EX. Nitro's not abusing EX as much as he should on this Blue Goku. It's okay. Turns it into mix. Okay, another mix up. Yeah, he's air dashing really early. He's air dashing really early. He should probably do that with JH so he can go lower. That's funny as shit. That's funny as shit. This time you actually do tag, yeah. I agree. Your tag choices, they're good. Okay, shows the EX. Nice, you actually get through. So this is so there are good and bad things here. So taking your turn back is not a bad thing, but the only reason you hit him here is because UI moves forward. And so like you being aware and being like, oh shit, I might get hit by the assist is like fine. However, 5L into vanish is definitely 2Hable, so you do want to be really careful about this panic option, because that's essentially what it was. Like you press 5L, install the assist, you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna try to vanish to get out of it. You can actually just get 2H'd and die for doing so. So you do want to be careful about that, but was a pretty okay heads up situation. Nice. Oh, did you get it done to you? Again, yep, talked about that earlier. Really got to be mindful of these like character specific things. Okay, so I think that you thought he pressed super dash and it was too early, so I think you were like, okay, I get to get out for free. And you hit your jump start up because you pressed up back. Yeah, you're gonna lose Vegito for sure. Doesn't matter. Nitro's UI is still has all the same frame data and all the same options as everyone else's UI. All the same shit. The only difference between Nitro's UI and other UIs is that Nitro is aware of the character's options and uses them in tandem better than most. But that being said, like there are going to be situations that are universal where it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's playing the UI. It's that UI is not safe here, or you know, he is safe here, right? It's everyone's the same. This master shit that you guys talk about, you should really eject that shit from your mind. That shit does not matter. being deemed a master or whatever does not mean shit. You get the same options are available to everyone at all times. Everyone can lose, so if you give him too much credit, then you will lose games because you're over respecting. Okay. Okay. Yep. 6M again. Another one. Yeah. Three 6Ms. He caught in the mid range. Yeah, tried to 5L. Okay, so honestly, like overall, the way that you're running your game plan and stuff is fine. Though I will say, like, you can't stay at the same you can't stay at the same like pedestal forever, right? And so what I mean by that is, like, you've reached a point where you're performing quite well against most people. However, right, there are specific things in certain matches that you need to be looking for or you need to be doing. So like, your game plan's fine and that'll beat most people, right? But people play different teams and they play different styles, and so like, you really need to pay attention to, does this person have an option on a certain character that is really good against my game plan or what I've been doing, right? Because those are kind of the situations where you're getting smoked. It's like you're trying to run your game plan as you usually do, but you're not adjusting to, okay, this character has projectile invulnerability here, so I need to be careful about this, right? That cooked you a lot. And like I said, he didn't even use EX tackle with Blue Goku as much as he could have, but it is frame 1 Ki Blast invulnerable, so that's a really good check for like a lot of the pressure that you're going to be running, because you're running double Ki Blast assist. So like that, and like doing the UI flip, that got him the hit a few times, which matters. Like, these hits add up over time, and so you need to pay more attention to, like, is my opponent going to try to check me, right? And if you think that they're going to check you, then you can work around it, right? You can do things to check their checks, or you can at the very least be ready to defend in those situations. Because, like, I'm not going to say that you're going to get the punish every single time if he decides to do EX flip into beam, right? You can hit the 4-frame startup, but you got to be ready. But if he shows you that, like, he's doing EX into beam on the other side, then at the very least you should be able to block in that situation, and then you are in an advantageous situation if you do block it, because it is -5 on block. So I would like you to pay attention to that. I think is a really big deal. I think your tag decisions were pretty good. I would say, like, you did pretty good health management things in this case. I think your strings, like, were a little questionable. Like, there was some like lariat choices that I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what what are you doing? Jump resources, especially when you're tagging, right? Really important. If you choose to commit to a tag or a super dash, you really got to pay attention to jump resources, because, like, it's not as simple as a normal double jump scenario is like, okay, I spend double jump here, so now the character that is in is gonna have to take something, because we know how jump resources work. Okay, it's different whenever you're tagging, because not only do you fuck yourself, right, you fuck the character that's coming in, because they maintain the jump resources that you spent. So, like, if you spent your double jump before you tag, then your character's coming in with no double jump, which can arguably be even worse than having to take something after just landing from a double jump in the first place, right? And so because it's going to come at you a lot faster, you're going to bounce off of them with a raw tag, and they could do anything. They could DR you, they could take their turn back, they could cross you up. It's really hard to react to in that situation, especially because the way the fucking camera works in this game, it's really cursed. So I would like you to pay attention to those things. And there were some weird, like, misinputs. Like, you got, like, L grab Be careful about the whack dash. We talk about this a lot. About like sometimes you just want to give him the turn. Fine. Okay, especially if he doesn't have resources. So like Nitro's team has 50-50s and we know this. But if he has no assist, like it's okay to just let him take the turn. It's not that big of a deal. You can just hold pressure. Like I am confident that you can block like just normal shit. But like, you know, no one wants to block a Kid Buu 50-50, but sometimes you might just have to. But you don't want to give him a free hit because you're like, oh shit, like I just really, you know, I don't want to let him get anything started. Sometimes letting your opponent get started is the avenue to getting the hit in the first place. It's as crazy as it seems. But sometimes letting your opponent start their pressure or their offense and then, you know, capitalizing on an opportunity as a result of that offense opens up opportunities that didn't exist in the past. So yeah, keep working on it. Keep working on it. I would like you to I would like you to probably you should play people like him more. At this point, like, yeah, you should try to get more games with him, or someone that plays similarly to him. I think Nitro is really good at checking people for stuff that maybe they thought was comfortable, but actually isn't all that safe. So, not bad, not bad. Keep working on it. Oh, what's up, Jake? How you doing, bro? So this is Isaac and Scumrat? Is this Scumrat? Is this Scumrat or is this Jordan? Linked the wrong person? Where's it supposed to be? I know it's Isaac. I'm talking about the person he's playing against, bro. What's the timestamp though? I don't. Yeah, you put this timestamp, but that's definitely not correct. The next set, this is you. You, Hemar. This isn't. Okay, well, you go find the right timestamp, and I guess I'll come back to you. How long did I want to start past the initial adaptation phase, so and take these games. Okay. Surprised you got hit by that, actually. We've been seeing Base Vegetas do Ki Blast drop into OTG. They buffed 214S on Base Vegeta. So it goes further. Okay. Okay, so first thing, and I notice this a lot when you play. Sometimes I think you're a little too greedy. You're too greedy with Blue Goku. And like he's a cool character and he has a lot of cool routes and that's all fine and dandy. But like at no point, right? At no point should you be in danger of dropping a hit to try to do optimals, right? That's really, really important. Really, really important. Going for optimals is fine. That's all fine and dandy. But if you're ever in danger of dropping something as a result for going in optimal, it's not worth it. Because at the end of the day, what's most important whenever you get a hit in this game is not the damage and it's not the meter. The most important thing is the knockdown and the situation afterwards. And so if you end up dropping the knockdown or the situation as a result of a drop combo, that situation is infinitely worse than you sacrificing a few points of damage or a little bit of meter for a better conversion, right? So always think about the knockdown first, because that is going to dictate games. This game is dictated at the knockdown level. We think about points of commonality, situations that arrive the most often in games, right? SKD happens like 80 times a match, right? And so it's really, really important that you're forcing this situation on him. Someone that understands how to play the game. If you're not properly knocking them down on every situation, then they're gonna wiggle, and it's gonna be really hard for you to get anything going, especially in situations like this where like you have no assist available. And so the SKD is really important, because you as a solo character cannot do shit to cover anything if you do not actually knock him down. And so that's why it's more important here than going for double jump loops like you tried to there. So like you end up getting hit as a result, right? So that turned a situation that should have been very advantageous for you into one that you're now taking Oki. He DR crushed you here, I think you guessed. Yeah. This dash forward is really good. This is a good dash forward. This dash forward tells me that you're thinking more about the positioning more so than getting the hit immediately. And this is where a lot of people go wrong. It's like in this situations, they'll just be like, oh shit, he's -5 with no assist. You know, I'm just gonna press a button. Where in reality, like you're still in the corner, you wanna kind of focus on building a better space for yourself than getting the hit outright. Because getting better positioning will usually lead to you getting the hit in the first place. So this is good. It's a good presence of mind. You catch him overextending there too, which happens quite a lot in Dragon Ball. People overextend on offensive pressure quite a lot. A bad drop. It's a really bad drop. Good tech. Really messy scramble. Call this later. If you're gonna do 2S moon jump, which is fine, call this later. So you can actually be closer to them, especially when you have command grab too. You have yellow command grab, so what you can do is like you could 2S, and then after you do the moon jump, you can like even look for him to jump. Oh wait, did I go too far back? I think I did. Yeah. So here, right? So like if you're gonna call this early, right? I would be ready to press 2 and 4S, because like you're not gonna jail him from this far away. And the chances of him choosing like just regular backdash on the ground is not it's not very high. Most of the time they're gonna take to the air. And so like if you would have pressed 2 and 4S here, you actually grab him. You actually just get the grab and you get the hit. So just a little bit greedy. That was good. That was good. That was good on Inzem to notice that he wasn't gonna be jailed there. Holding X. And you let go. Yeah. He gave you a lot of time there. This is like kind of you being indecisive on defense. So like when the string starts, you're holding X, right? You show X, then it goes away. So like that tells me that you're thinking like, okay, maybe I should tag, and then you're like, oh wait a minute, he's like kind of staggering a lot, maybe I don't want to tag. It's hard to say. It's hard to say what the correct option is there. On one hand, oh, thank you Larry for the 23 minutes. So like showing X is a fake, I think is good. But ultimately, like when you're on defense, you don't really want to second guess yourself, because like if you're gonna second guess yourself, then there's gonna be situations where by the time you make your decision, you're kind of already in the mix-up, or you're already getting hit. And I think that's kind of what happened here. Is you thought about something and you're like, maybe not, and then like by the time you're like, okay, I want to do this instead, you're already in the super dash 50-50. I'm also dropping frames for whatever reason. That's what's up. Might be my ISP fucking me. Here. Hold on. Is it this? It was that. Holy shit. Okay. No, I'll ask you for the timestamp whenever I do yours. Okay. Let me run this back, sir. Plus 11. Yep. Caught you slipping there, bro. No. I'm dropping frames in OBS. It's not you. Thanks to the host. Hold on, give me a second, guys. I want to check my task manager to see what's going on here. It's not you. My OBS is dropping frames for whatever reason. Trying to figure out why. It's not you, guys. Okay. I think we're fine now. I don't know if that's gonna keep happening. I think it's my ISP. Pretty sure that's what it is, but hopefully it stops. No, it's not you. Okay, back to this. Okay. Okay, so he's showing he wants to put on barrier. Someone takes a turn. You have a bar for guard cancel now. Pressed on his +2. No reason for this. Absolutely no reason for this. With a lead, if you're that scared of his plus frames, just spark. This is really greedy. And this is how you let people come back. A lot of people are not spending sparking to close, like, so there are more than one way to use sparking, right? Overwhelming majority of the time when you press sparking, it's to disengage, right? It's because the pressure that you're facing, you feel like you're not comfortable taking it, so they press it to alleviate the pressure. However, what's really strong with sparking is to lock out games. And what I mean by lockout games is, for example, if I cleanly kill a character and I'm playing 3v2, and my opponent's character is at 50% health or something like that, and they decide to start a string on me, or they get some plus frames, then even though I might be comfortable blocking the character, I might press spark anyway. And the reason is because you still get the swing, right? So it turns into your turn, and it's really hard for them to win the game. So like if you look at the game state right now, right, he's playing Broly, he has no sparking to his name. So if you press spark here on this Broly, it's extremely hard for him to win. It's very, very difficult because you get a favorable sparking scramble, and then even after, if you don't get like good offense straight away from the scramble, you reset to neutral. He has to get in all over again. He has to deal with raw tag. He has to deal with empty vanish. He has to deal with, you know, EX tackle, all that shit all over again. And so if you press spark here, it's like almost impossible for him to win. It's very, very difficult to come back against someone who presses spark here. And for that reason, there's no way in hell that you should be committing to pressing a button here on +2. There's just no reason, because you know that you die on the next hit no matter what. He has 5 bars. You know you die to any hit. And so this is just greed. This is just straight up greed. You're thinking in your head, maybe he's gonna grab, so I'm just gonna mash on him so I can win the game, but he's really greedy. You have the resource to not have to deal with this situation at all, so you should just spend it. There's no reason not to. Wow, what a 2M. Interesting decision here. Okay. Drops. Yoink. Combo drops, combo drop. Wake up EX spin. Why? That's some really poor decision making in the latter half of this game. The crazy part is like you might be thinking like, I'm really afraid of grab, but you don't die. You actually don't die from grab here because your sparking regen. You don't die. Like, look how much health you have. You actually don't die, and he doesn't get a knockdown if he does it either. So like if he grabs you, if he does 214L and he grabs you and he decides to spend level 1, it's not gonna kill you, and he's also not gonna get a knockdown. And then you have tech option, you have double jump, you have empty vanish, you have all that available. And so like it's okay to take the grab here. It's like fine. I think it's okay for you to take the grab here. But EX spin on wake up is not. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you're gonna do something like this, you might as well fuzzy jump. It's way better. Because like there are a lot of situations. So if you commit to a special move, you're all in, right? Because you can't. There's no variability. You can only do anything after a special move if it makes contact, right? Whereas if you jump, right, let's say he's a little bit late on his meaty and you end up air blocking, you still get a chance to defend there. With a special move, you don't get a chance to defend. It's all in, right? It's all in. And also on top of that, if you think he's gonna grab, you have frame 4 invulnerable empty vanish. That's way safer to press here than EX. Both get you out. Like this just gets you away. Jump and empty vanish are way safer here. Don't do EX here. It's just silly. There are just better things you can do. It's just straight up better. It's straight up just better to press empty vanish here. But more than that, just take the grab. If you're afraid of the grab, he's not gonna kill you there. You're actually not dead to grab level 1 there, so it's okay for you to take one more grab instead of betting it on an EX to lose the game. Okay, this is overextension. So your gambit is round start dash forward tackle, which is usually used as the call out for like round start jump back dash, which is pretty common. So the goal is to meaty the landing afterwards, so that you can jail them into pressure. Okay, so the problem with that is that what happens afterwards? So you do dashboard tackle, you call a fist, right? You actually hit him. Combo drops because you didn't call your assist early enough. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. However, what is not fine is this 2M. This 2M is not fine. This is overextension. Because once you have used this 21 assist, right, and it has not made contact, your turn's over. There's a lot of things that a character in this state can do on Inzem's end. He has double jump available. He also has tag available, right? And Vegeta also has, you know, kick to get out of the corner. He has knees if he wants to go crazy, right? There's a lot of things they can do here. And so, like, you kind of want to wait and see, right? Especially because you didn't get an SKD. Once again, we go back to the knockdown game, right? You didn't SKD him. It's a soft knockdown. And so the amount of tech options he has available to them is literally the maximum. When you soft knock down someone, they have the most amount of options to choose on defense. And so you're better off just waiting to see what he does and trying to answer that than betting on, oh, you know, maybe I think he's going to down tech mash or something. I'm guessing that's what you thought he was going to do here, is down tech mash, and that's why you go for 2M. But the risk reward associated with it is really fucked, because now that he didn't down tech mash, which is like one of 8 options he could have chosen, you lose everything, right? He gets the kick out of the corner for free. He gets free pressure because now you're locked in, and we've now have reversal of fortune, right? You had him in the box of death, and now he has you in the box of death. You're stuck in the corner. You commit to an air dash, right? And it's a scramble that is not in your favor, because you can't really call Bardock in a scramble like that. He can call his pseudo beams, and regardless of whether it hits or you end up blocking or something like that, it's a very favorable situation for him. And so this all spawns from the choice to try to 2M him on a soft knockdown situation. You're better off just waiting, like dash forward, wait to see his tech option, then answer the tech option. Because a lot of people are choosing things like double jump or like, you know, if they have a lariat style move, they like try to lariat out of the corner. A lot of people are choosing things like that because they don't want to be in the corner anymore. And that's because positioning matters more than getting the hit in that moment. And that this 2M shows me that you're more concerned with getting the hit right there and then than thinking about the game state and the positioning on the screen, which matters way more. So that's why you get hit here. You should have never been in that situation to begin with. Okay, when you get hit by 6M, you're -3. If you hit someone with 6M, you are +3. And so I don't know what you pressed here, but you can't even mash vanish here. Not against 6 framers, because frame 4, it's frame 4 invulnerable. He's +3. He has a 6 frame jab. He's gonna hit your vanish startup. So you just kind of have to block. And his assists weren't off cooldown yet. And you know that, like, when he decides to do any mix-up that he's gonna go for here is gonna have a gap, right? Whether he does disc or he does super dash assist, there's gonna be a gap in which you can interact with. The only exception to that rule is if he does something to jail into disc and then uses the second assist for the mix-up, which I don't think that Inzem does. I'm pretty sure he doesn't do that. Some people do, but I don't think he does that. He hasn't shown that to you yet, so you know that there's gonna be a gap. You don't have to take a chance mashing on -3 there. Yeah, just I don't really like that press. He doesn't have EX to like bait or anything. I would literally just spend it. Yeah, so once again, right, I think you really need to work on your resource utilization. Like when you do this, right? So anytime that you're getting hit, right, and this goes to anyone out there, anytime that you're getting hit in this game, you should be thinking about what situation arises as a result of me getting hit, right? What's gonna happen afterwards? So when I'm getting hit or I'm getting level 3'd by someone, I'm looking at the screen. I'm thinking about, okay, what resources does he have available to him? Okay, he has 1 assist. Okay, he has no meter though, right? And so like once I see no meter, then I know that his chances of doing a spark bait go down dramatically because he doesn't have knees or he doesn't have EX kick to bait spark, right? And so it's much easier for me to get a successful spark off in here. And for that reason, I just would just burn it. I would just burn it here because like once he does this air dash, there's no way for him to bait your spark. There's no way because he hasn't called his assist already, right? And he doesn't have EX. And so like I'm just gonna press spark and save my character. The awkward trade. Frame chop. Okay, when you play Bardock, you need to you need to be a little bit more active than you're being. And what I mean by that is, like, a lot of these situations, you're playing full screen and kind of relying on 21 assist. And it's good to play around your assist, but the problem is that you're severe disadvantage here. You're at very severe disadvantage because he has 2 assists that cover the same space that your assist does as well. They're all horizontal. And Base Vegeta also wins the Ki Blast game against Bardock. And so what you should be looking to do here is cut the screen from him, so that you kind of limit his options, right? Because once you get past a certain point on the screen, he can no longer shoot safely. And like, you want to work into the dead zone to the character. So like, Base Vegeta can shoot you horizontally, and that's all fine and dandy, right? But he doesn't really have much aside from like committing to like 2S in neutral, which like isn't really that great, to like deal with diagonals. So his assist can't cover there either. So like, based on that, right, based on the character, the point character's options, as well as the assist available, you should be playing in the dead zone. You're playing back here a lot, which is ironically where he is most effective, right? When you're on the ground from full screen, he's at severe advantage. You can't do shit here, right? You can't lariat, you can't make contact with pretty much anything, right? You have no projectile vulnerability on this character, and so you're just gonna have to hold shit. But if you're playing a little bit more airborne, right, if you're playing more around your super jumps and moon jumps, then it becomes much more freer in the neutral to move around. So I think you should play a little bit more forward, using your movement in those situations. And like, when you do stuff like this, right, so you get a good dash jump. So like, under normal circumstances, right, if you would have had your assist available, this is where you would call your assist. Is you want to move with your assist, right? Don't call your assist from full screen and then move in afterwards, right? And this is the problem that a lot of players have. Is they're not moving with their assist. And the reason that this is important is because a lot of the time the confirm is going to be really awkward from full screen, if you can get one at all. At best, if you sit back and you call 21 from full screen and he gets hit from max range, right, the best you're getting is a Ki Blast confirm, right? The only way that you get any type of good confirm or even a block string confirmation, right, like let's say he blocks the assist, let's say he blocks the assist, the only way you're going to get pressure or advantage out of that situation is if you're moving with your assist, right? If you're moving with your assist. So you and your assist have to be moving as one, so that regardless of whether he gets hit or blocks it or whatever, you can actually take advantage of the situation. Playing full screen doesn't do much for you because the confirm is not that great, and you get no block string pressure, no good block string pressure afterwards, should he actually end up interacting with the assist. Good. This is good run under. A bit too much JS. Come. Yeah, I agree. Well, it's too low, I think. Too low to the ground. Or late. Yeah, something. Yeah, too late there. Do it faster. Okay. All right. You want to slowly approach and just focus on taking space. Yeah, that's how you play matchups that you're disadvantaged in, Mani. That's how you play. Against matchups that are not favorable for you, you just want to play slow. Wait for them to overextend, wait for them to make a mistake, because people make mistakes all the time. Even in matchups that they win really hard, right? There will be gaps, because we're human. So people make mistakes. But like overall in the neutral, in general, right? Neutral philosophy is look at your opponent's characters. Look at what places on the screen they can cover without committing, right? And you want to bias towards being out of those places, right? So on his team, with Base Vegeta on point, like I said, he's running double horizontal assist. He has great rapid Ki Blast game. He has kick, right? He has all that stuff, right? So you being on the same level vertically as him is not good, because that's his strongest effective zone. However, super jump height, right? Way harder for him to cover, because his assists don't interact with you. The only way he can get up there to interact with you is by committing to a system mechanic like super dash. And that's good for us. We want him to be committing to a system mechanics in neutral, because then he can't rely on his team's strong specific options, right? Because we've moved into their dead zone. That is what neutral is all about. So you need to think more about that. especially in matchups where you're not necessarily in advantage. Okay, we actually get the hit here. This is cool. I'm gonna tell you what I tell every other. I'm gonna tell you what I tell every other 21. Don't take soft knockdown. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. I know this situation sucks. Okay? This situation sucks. Yes, if you spend your assist, you don't have anything. Vegeta has this to catch you into assist. That doesn't cover everywhere, bro. If he's approaching, look. He can't just throw a disc in neutral like that. If he throws disc from full screen, it's gonna move like this, right? We have all of this and all of this. That's dead. Like you're crazy. Like, and that's one option as opposed to key blasts, which is one option, Broly assist, which is another option, 21 assist, which is another option, rocket kick, which is another option, right? Think about the proportion of options that he has available to him in neutral. This is way safer up here. He has one option in particular, and then system mechanics, right? Would you rather deal with that or deal with all the strong horizontals he has? I think that's a no-brainer. Like, it's pretty crazy. You're getting grabbed, my friend. Did you die the first time? No, probably not. Nah, definitely not. It's rough. Rough. Broly things. Oh, what the fuck? Bruh. Which game was this? God, I fucked up. I can't remember where I was. Oh, it's yours. Okay. Anyway. Caught him jumping. The dead character. Good. This is hard though. Man, your option here was not bad at all, but I think this super dash was a little too much. I think maybe you thought that the disc would hit you here. And you reacted late. Cause like, okay, so the problem with this situation is that like you actually jailed him to the ground here. Right? Because the second hit of Bardock M would have made contact here. You would have jailed him to the ground. You'd have been fine. But I think you saw the disc and you're like, oh shit, I don't want to get hit. And so you press super dash and you kind of fuck yourself. That's really unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. I don't know why he didn't take mid screen there. Okay. Pretty weird. You thought he was gonna double you? Okay. Is there another one? Okay. Nice. Yeah, too much. You don't have to commit like this. Like, talk about the knockdown here. Frame kill. You don't anti-reflect. Which is a little bit of a problem. But more than that, when the DR gets teched, right? So I would be less irritated about this option if he was closer to the corner, or if his back was all the way in corner. Because you have more of a chance. You have more of a chance of catching him like trying to double jump away or something like that. But mid screen, he just kind of falls, and he's like, "Oh shit!" Like he actually EX, so I just get a free punish here. And unfortunately, like you didn't have 21 available, so it's not like you could have like matched 21 and then done the EX to kind of aid you in that situation. You just kind of bet it and give him a free hit in that regard. So that's pretty rough. I don't think you need to commit like that in that situation, because even when you tech DR, right? Even if you text DR here, his back is still to corner. He's not all the way into the corner, but you still have good screen positioning, so you don't have to like do anything right away. You can kind of just wait to see what's gonna happen, because a lot of people like to do like DR tech into like tag or DR tech into like super dash, so you can just kind of wait. Okay, good. Yep. Weird, because he did jump first. Yeah, a little bit of a Hail Mary there. Landing recovery kind of fucked you. Oh, that sucks. A little bit late. Yep. Oh, okay. So I think you called assist a little bit late here. Yeah, you called it way too late. So like when you're in this situation, when you're doing reflect lariat, almost never, the only way you get a punish on reflect into lariat is if it's like a buffered reflect situation, where you can get your action out faster. But like here, right, it's just a standard reflect situation, and so like, you know, more than anyone, like the L lariat just doesn't reach here, or at least it doesn't punish. It reaches, but it doesn't punish. You just call your assist while you're doing the lariat, and then you get pressure for free. But you waited until after the lariat was like pretty much done, and then you called your assist, so that let him mash. Challenge, but you drop combo. It's rough. Like same side. Greedy conversion. Greedy conversion here. Yes, it's cool to do super dash rejumps and shit, but like at this point, especially when you don't have spark, and Bardock is missing health, like you don't want to risk a combo drop scramble, because he has 4.5 bars. He also has sparking, so like pretty much any hit he gets on you here is gonna kill you. So you just like, yeah, I don't think you really want to take this conversion. Instead, you're better off just going into like J2H and then tagging into Blue Goku, because he was available to finish the combo and get your knockdown. I think this is just a little bit too greedy. He 2H is the assist and then goes into dive and just soft knockdown. Why did he do that? Why did you do that? You should have started holding down immediately when you saw he didn't like call assist or anything like that. Nice. Oh, we gotta hit confirm these. We gotta hit confirm these. He is like because the thing here is like, if you vanish confirm, I'm pretty sure he gets knocked into 21, and it's like a pretty easy conversion after that. You can't let those rock. Maybe you thought it would reach in time, but you're better off just taking the confirm as soon as you notice he gets hit. Okay, sparking scramble. He's not like doing very much though. Yeah. You countered it. Wonder what you pressed there. First. Am I gonna upload this? Probably. Okay. I think you should have taken your plus frames here. For what it's worth. Like you got the EX to make contact. I think you just take the advantage plus frames. If anything, just to like get something going, right? It's really hard to win this long range game against Broly with a 21 assist behind him. So like if you get him to block something like this, I think you should just take the plus frames. You might even catch him like committing to like tackle or like an armor move or something to fit. You might be able to get just a free punish in a situation where you're just +2. So I think I would probably just take the plus frames there. Now you have to deal with barrier nonsense. You can't 2S or anything like that. Pretty hard. I still think you should be working into dead zone though. Like I said, same thing as the base Vegeta situation, right? So Broly's a little better, I would say, in this situation because he can key blast not only horizontal, but he can also aim up. But the problem is that like they don't go up immediately, right? So he has to start shooting and then he can aim up. And so like there's a lot of situations where he'll start shooting and then he'll look to aim them up, but you're already too far forward, right? You're already too far forward for him to make contact. And so he will either have to panic vanish or get punished, or essentially like, or sometimes they'll like just try to take the block afterwards, but sometimes you don't recover in time to block in time. So like that's why like moon jump is extremely strong right now, especially against this character. And like right now it's like when you want to kind of take advantage because 21 assists is off cooldown or on cooldown. There's just like, yeah, this is like kind of like your go time, right? Like whenever you're playing when you're playing character disadvantage, right, your goal is to play the 1v1 as much as you can, if that makes sense. And so what I mean by that is your opponent has 2 characters here, but that's only the case when the assist is available, right? When it's on cooldown, you're essentially playing a 1v1, essentially. There's some caveats, but like, yeah, you're essentially playing a 1v1 here. And so like anytime that assist is on cooldown, that is when we should be looking to take some initiative, at least move forward in a way that makes our opponent think about the options we have available to us. No, I mean all this music's from Mario Galaxy, from the game itself. So I think you super dash in, okay, and then you don't press anything because you're afraid of Broly 5L, probably like hitting your backdash or something like that. And then you just fall, and then you try to press afterwards and you get counter hit. I see, that'll happen. Broly is difficult. Interesting press. Okay though. Take off earlier against Broly. Because like it's hard to get over top of him sometimes. And so what you do to remedy that is you just take off a little bit sooner. Because a lot of Broly's, funnily enough, a lot of Broly's think that there's people that think that you can't cross up Broly on this Oki. It's complete bullshit. You absolutely can. But a lot of people do miss it because he is tall and like your takeoff has to be pretty good in order to get over him before his hurt box becomes tall enough to block you. So okay, yeah, okay though. Oh no, he's grabbing you. Whiff grab mash 5 though. Yeah, so overall, like some game philosophy things, right? Game philosophy. So like like I'm talking about before, right? Listen to me, not the people in chat. I don't give a fuck about what chat says, right? The game of Dragon Ball FighterZ, in a neutral sense, is played based on resources, right? And so if your opponent is playing things that are really good at covering this, right? Let's say they're playing GTA, right? They're saying they're playing GTA, and that's all they're playing, right? Obviously, you'd want to be down here or up here because you don't want to interact with GTA, right? This principle goes for all assists, for all assists, and also the options available to the point character as well. But it's a little more flexible in that regard. So when you load into games, when you're on like the loading screen, when it says like, you know, the 3 characters and the assist that they're running, think about where on the screen do you want to be against his team. By far against his team, right? This team over here, no, you want to be up here and up here, right? Why? Assists, no contact, at least whenever he's grounded, right? This is for grounded scenarios. If he's grounded, assists, no contact. Rocket kick, no contact. Key blast, no contact. He can commit to disc if he wants to, but there's multiple angles for disc, and it's hard for him to pick the right one. And it's also special. It's also a special move. And so he can't whiff cancel into vanish if you happen to like get a good moon jump and he does disc and you get over top of him. It's just a punish. He can't whiff cancel, and so they're gonna be much less biased to picking said option. Also, on top of that, let's say he discs you from up here, right? Let's say you're at super jump height and he hits you with disc, or he well, I guess hit can work here too. Hit or block, right? Most of the time you're actually not gonna be jailed all the way to the ground. You're gonna recover like somewhere around here. And so like his assist call is gonna have to be on point in order to jail you into the assist, and then he might not even have an assist afterwards for the mix-up afterwards, depending on how the resources have been expended up into this point. So like, and also a lot of Vegeta's miss this confirm too. Like whenever they disc and it hits them up here, they miss this hit confirm. They like vanish too late because they weren't expecting for it to make contact. So what I'm trying to say is, obviously, I think it's very, very clear that against this team, you should have been playing a little bit more airborne than you were before. Right? Just a little bit more airborne. Because you're choosing to play a little bit too grounded, given that he has so many options to deal with horizontals, right? He has so many options. He even has his EXs, right? There's like just a lot of things that he has to deal with horizontal neutral. So you should play a little bit more airborne, for sure. And I think once you focus on cutting the screen from him, right? Because Base Vegeta is a character that has a lot of options. And so like our goal in the neutral is to kind of suffocate him and like kind of stifle him. Because once you move to like kind of mid-screen, right? Your character's buttons are way more heinous than his. Like way more, at least in terms of range, right? So like if we're playing aerial footsies with Base Vegeta, that's very good for us for the most part, because our JMs are really fucking long, real fucking real crazy, right? And also his like JS angle a lot of the time won't make contact if you're like playing up here and whatnot. There's just a lot of things, right? But above all, right, move with your assist. Don't call your assist back here and then be like, okay, I'm gonna just sit here, and then if it gets the hit, then I'm gonna do something afterwards, right? If you call an assist that moves horizontally, move with it, move behind it. Because if he does block, or if he gets hit, you're never gonna be ready. You're never gonna be ready to get a really good confirm if you're back here, right? When the assist makes contact here, you need to be somewhere around here in order to confirm. Otherwise, you'll run into situations where you hit your opponent with your assist and get nothing, right? That happens a lot in this game. People call their assist for full screen, and they straight up get nothing off the confirm because they're too far away. Noza with the 7 months, thank you. Do not be afraid to reset to neutral. Your team's neutral is very good, right? Your team's neutral is very good. You're playing at an assist disadvantage in neutral because he's running 2 neutral assists. You're running Bardock B, right? So your transition game has to be really good, right? So whenever you get him to block something, the speed in which you transition into a mix-up needs to be very fast. That's the first thing. Second, you need to be really careful about overextending, right? If you get him into a situation where you knock him down, don't guess. don't guess on his tech, right? Don't guess on his tech, just react. You have the tools to play reactively. You have frame 1 key blast and vulnerability, right? You have pretty long buttons. Overall, 2H is like a really fucking high button for whatever reason. Don't know why it's that way, but don't feel like you need to get the hit right away, right? Focus on the positioning first, and then your positioning will get you hits. Straight up, your positioning will get you hits because people tend to make very rash, really rash decisions whenever they're in positional disadvantage. So like if your back is the corner, right? How many times have you guys seen like someone's back is the corner and they choose a tech option and they like just hurry up and try to do something to get themselves out as soon as possible, right? You can punish those things most of the time, right? Especially because like let's say he does like kick plus assist, like let's say he does up kick, up tech, and then he like kicks and he calls assist. The problem is that there's all this dead zone, right? There's all this dead zone because the assist is gonna come out down here. So if you're looking for his tech option and you're moving forward and going up with him, then his assist is gonna whiff, and you can often just super dash punish shit like that, like air dashes, you know, some lariats. Sometimes super dash is a little wonky though, and like it'll go off to the skies, like it'll just, like, I don't know, sometimes it just goes out of nowhere. But I think like forcing him to not make forcing him to second guess his positional decisions is gonna go a long way. It's gonna go a long way in these situations. But I think you're not taking advantage, as much advantage as you could be. And how you take advantage in a better way is by, you know, just playing the advantage, right? Park yourself, you knock him down, especially if it's a soft knockdown because there's so much wiggle room. But like in general, right? If you're too far away to get a true meaty, right? You're better off just waiting. Just wait to see what he does. Okay, he chose up tech. Now I'm gonna make my decision based off of that tech option. Oh, he down tech. I'm gonna make my decision based off of that option, right? Don't commit guessing that, oh, he's gonna do this, because the moment he doesn't do exactly what you're looking for, you lose all advantage. You might end up giving him a super strong advantage as a result. Like you got reversal of fortune before because you tried to 2M a guessed down tech. He kicked out of the corner, right? And now the block string is his, and now you're in the corner. Now you have to take all the stuff that you should have been forcing him to take. And so don't be afraid to disengage either. If you feel like you don't have the resources or the positioning to take advantage of something that should be advantage, it's okay to reset to neutral. Wait for those assists to cool down. Fine. You don't have to get the hit right now, right? There's no urgency, especially early on in the game when characters are not in danger of dying. No resources have been expended, right? You don't have to get the hit right that second. Now, you don't want to let opportunities pass you by. If there's a really good one, if there's a really good opportunity, you should take advantage of it for sure, right? But don't like tunnel vision on it, right? If you feel like I'm not gonna get there in time, don't do it anyway and then get hit for it, right? Don't do it anyway and then get hit for it. Just be like, okay, I'll just wait. Just wait to see what he does. And Inzem is like a pretty patient player overall. And so like patience, matching that patience will go a long way, I think. Another thing, we talked about your combo routes, right? Knockdown and positioning matters more than damage and meter, overwhelming majority of the time. And so like, if you feel like mid route something is a little bit too far away, or like I don't really know if this is gonna make contact, right? Just do the simpler route, right? Just take your knockdown, because that matters more than, you know, doing 100 extra damage on your loops or whatever. Like I think that happens to you a lot, where you try to go for the optimal like double jump loop routes with Blue Goku and you kind of lose a lot of things as a result. So I think you should really think about that as well. But I think the number one thing that's hurting you right now is the neutral, the neutral philosophy. I was talking about dead zones and neutral, and also your resource expenditure. So like you need to spark, right? You need to be using this resource. And on that, like you watched my sparking video recently, so you know all about the sparking transition, about the sparking scramble, right? But what has to happen before you get to do this thing? You actually have to use the sparking, right? Use it. If you ever feel like there's a chance for your character to die, right? A 3-person team is always going to be stronger than a 2-person team. It's always going to be stronger than a solo character, right? Always will be. And so just spend it, right? Especially if you're in a situation where they don't have resources to do good baits. And half the time, honestly, like when people do baits, it's not, it doesn't kill you anyway, especially early game. Like if you get knocked down on the first knockdown and then you spark right after, a lot of the time your opponent will not have the resources to kill you either way. And so even if you do get baited, it's like whatever. You might lose your sparking scramble, but you still keep a character, and that's the goal overall. That's the strength of that mechanic. So I would really think about that moving forward. But there's a lot of things to consider. But I think the resource management and the neutral game is what's killing you right now. Just decision making in neutral. You're playing in the spaces that your opponent's assist do all the work for them, right? You want to make it as difficult for him as possible. All right, Isaac, do you have your timestamp? Oh, this will be fine. Yep. Out of the gates, whack dashed, right? Literally first situation of the game. 5M, whiff, try to backdash so you can avoid giving up your turn, you get hit for it. A good jump. Drops. Grabbed. Dive for it. Surprised you didn't super dash here. I don't know, you might have traded. Yeah. Yeah. Take the vanish confirm. So like a lot of people are like tunnel visioning on this M ball super dash thing. I'm not saying you are here, but the problem with M ball super dash is that it really is a big commitment. Like it's so like think about the situations where the M ball doesn't make contact, right? You can only confirm with super dash if you're mashing super dash as you do the M ball, right? You waited until the M ball hit essentially, and then you super dashed, right? So and that's what I'm talking about with when you do M ball super dash. It's a commitment, right? Because in order to confirm into the super dash, you have to press that shit immediately. You can't visually confirm like, oh, he got hit by it, let me press super dash, right? And so if you're in a situation where you want to play reactive or you're answering something like this, just take the vanish confirm. It's fine. Especially because even after the vanish confirm, you're gonna have meter for level 3. So you'd have been fine. Too late. Bark, okay. No. Don't. So test him first, right? So what you're thinking here is, I don't want to deal with the anti-air command grab, right? And so that's why you 5S. I'm like almost positive that's what happened here. But look at this. you'll notice something real interesting here, right? He doesn't have meter. And so EX is off the table. So, and that's part, I almost guarantee that's one of the reasons he did not Dante here, is because he doesn't have meter for EX. So you should have just ran your staircase here. Yeah, he's broke. He's broke. So just run your staircase. That's difficult because you committed to air dash pretty early there. First. Got a little bit lucky there. Just a tiny bit. You're alive. Still fine. You're still fine. Yeah, works. You're getting grabbed a lot. So, like, let's talk about offensive philosophy here, right? So in this situation, you'd really want to get in the habit of pressing super dash in reaction to the EX noise. And the reason I say that is because 16 only has one good EX here. He can only do EX, like he can only do the EX grounded grab. He can do the anti-air grab if he wants to, but like he's not gonna be able to do that like in a string most of the time, unless he like delays like really fucking hard. And so like, especially because he's running Vegito, which is Key Blast property, so he can't even do like he can't do like EX commit. He can't do EX anti-air and then call assist and have it like turn into a mix-up, right? Because if you press super dash in response to the EXs, no matter what, he gets hit, right? Because you'll go through Vegito as well. And so that would have been a better defensive option for you in this situation. Yeah, it's overcommitment on his part. All right. He pretty much tick grabbed him there. Yeah, but like you can still react to the EX either way. It would be different if 16 had a ton of different like EXs that can hit you in different ways, but it's not the case for this situation. Wait, what happened here? Okay. Ah, whack dash again. Yep. It's two that you've been hit on. Wow, that was awkward. Scenes here. This is good. Punish. Oh, a little bit of hesitation there. I don't blame you for hesitating there because like Vegito just has mad large stuff. So you probably thought like it was a situation where you might have gotten clipped by like the last kick or something like that. Oh, drops. Wiggled. Yeah, you held up. Thought you were gonna get grabbed. Hmm? Once again, no staircase. Right? So like, what's happening here is that you're not forcing him to respect your sparking scrambles, so he's just choosing aerial techs every time. Because you're not transitioning well. Doesn't look like you pressed anything. I think she's just really tall, so that made contact. Holding it, yeah, it would have had to been. Yeah, I don't know if you tried to block there or you're revving up a button to press. I'm not sure, but okay. Let me run it back. What should you have done here? Right. This is very this is why you know a lot of people pick up 21 but they're not playing 21, right? Because situations like these are actually quite important to be aware of. So in this situation, if I'm doing level 3 Oki on yellows, I'm ready for the sparking situation no matter what, because I have frame 1 air invulnerability, so I can check pretty much anything. I can check anything out of down tech essentially. Unless he does a very specific hard call out, but that's difficult to do. So if you're gonna down tech, right? As soon as you see that vanish go through and you down tech, press the command grab, you get the hit for free. Like you actually just hit him, right? You grab him. Very good to know. Keep that in mind when you're running Oki on people, because people will level 3 on your, people will sparking on your level 3 Oki a lot. So it's important to have this. Now he could do sword. He does have that option, right? But it's good at least to check him, because unless you show him that you're gonna do command grab, he doesn't have a lot of reason to just go straight into sword in the first place. He's gonna want a staircase or, you know, get you to block something immediately. He's gonna pick the fastest option an overwhelming majority of the time. That terminology, I mean, people, yeah, it's just like that. Grab by 16 and die. Yeah. If you're gonna do this, I would like for next time you try to go for this on Oki, just all the assists too, because then you have a contingency plan. Here you don't really have a contingency plan. If you delay wake ups like enough to get through the double air dash, or like the timing's like awkward, and that's what happens here. Like it's just very awkward timing, and then he just mashes on you because he delay wake up enough to where your button didn't come out fast enough. But like you can remedy that by just doing it with your assist next time. We're so fucking. Yep. Yep. It'll happen. I don't think you should dash forward on round start here. This is a really scary situation for you. Like real scary. I don't know, especially because he's running 16, right? So I think 16 is what makes this really awkward, because even if you both dash forward and you get him in a block string, 16 is gonna hit you because he's so far back. He's just gonna give him a free hit. So I think you should focus on playing whenever he has not both assists up. It's really hard. It's really hard for you to win out in situations when he has both assists available there. Like, because you dashed in and then you were forced to deal with 16 immediately, right? And like that's rough. Hard to do as a solo character. Two S? $5M? The $5M? I guess it could be either. Actually, don't know. Oh, I think it was $5M. Okay. This is pretty easy, actually. It's probably going to be pretty easy to explain. So your number one problem in this set is you have no backup plan. You're really bad at well, the situations that you're getting put into, you have a thought out scenario in your mind and you'll go for it, but you're not considering what happens if it doesn't happen exactly the way I want it to, right? And that level of foresight and planning it's important. It's really important. And that is why we have option selects, right? That's why we have option selects. That's why we have assists. That's why we have all these things. It's because, especially when you're running offense, there's so many things that your opponent can do that you kind of want to be ready for what happens after, right? It's good to run your Oki and all that. You don't want to hesitate on that. But very few times does the situation turn out exactly the way that you have it pictured in your mind. And that's what's happening here. So like, you're going for a knockdown and you're like, okay, I'm going to run my Oki. But you're not considering what happens if he reflects or delay wake ups and you're getting hit for it. You're choosing, I'm going to dash forward to take space from him. But what happens if he does dash forward with me and calls assists? Then you're kind of host, right? And so you've reached a point where like your game, I understand your game plan. Like it makes sense. It makes sense to me. And it's like fine, but it doesn't have enough contingency built into it. It's not safe enough. It's too risky. Because even in situations where you have resources to make things safer for you or less of a headache, you're not using them. And I think that's really, really, really important, right? It all goes back to resource management. If you have an assist to make the Oki more consistent or to cover more options, burn it. Trust me. Trust me. No one wants to deal with the headache of all the shit that my opponent can do on defense, right? Just use the resource. If it takes a resource to make the offense more consistent, less likely for you to get hit for you trying to run offense, you spend it, right? That's really, really important in this set. You got grabbed a lot, that's fine. That'll happen. You need to what's the best way to put this? Getting grabbed is gonna happen, right? We're all gonna get grabbed. Every single one of us, everyone that's listening right now is gonna get grabbed at some point. That will happen, right? It's not that simple though, right? It's not as simple as grab or not grab. And so if you let your opponent program you, right? If you let your opponent program you to where you think, man, I'm really afraid of getting grabbed, so I'm gonna choose this that, you know, I'm gonna start holding up or I'm gonna start mashing so I don't get grabbed, right? You can just lose sets like that. And so I don't want you to fall into that. But what I do want you to consider is, what are the consequences of getting grabbed? Because sometimes, even if you eat a command grab, right? Let's say Broly has 0 meter and he runs up and he command grabs you and your character is not in death range, right? Is that situation really all that bad for you? Not really. It's not, right? Because what happens after the grab? You get knocked down, you get a chance to delay wake up again, you get a chance to defend again, right? It's not the end of the world. And so sometimes it's okay to just get grabbed, right? Sometimes it's okay to just get grabbed, especially against Broly. So this is really important against Broly because Broly cannot combo off of his fast grab, right? So this would be different if we were talking about like 21, right? Who gets a full combo off of grab. If we were talking about like Blue Goku, who can call assist during the animation and get a full combo, right? That would be different. That would be different. But I think against Broly in particular, into that same vein, 16, right? If 16 does L grab or Broly does L grab, they get the grab and that's it. If they have meter, they can cash out, but if they don't, it ends there, right? And they try to run Oki again, in which they have to deal with your defensive options all over again. So it's not all that bad to take a grab from them sometimes, as long as you're not going to die. But think about that, right? Think about that and implement that idea into your defense. If you really think someone's going to grab, it's fine to make call-outs, right? If you think there's no way in my mind, there's no way he's not going to go for grab here, right? And you try to jump out or something like that, I'm not mad at that. What I'm afraid of here is that you look at this deck and you're like, damn, I got grabbed a lot, so I'm just gonna hold up a lot so I don't get grabbed again. Don't do that, right? Finding the middle ground is really important for defense in this game. And so it needs to be it needs to be all part of a healthy philosophy, right? Sometimes we're just gonna get grabbed. Because the same thing that I talk about with people with sometimes your opponent just chooses the right option, right? That will happen. There's nothing you can do about your opponent just choosing the absolute perfect option for the scenario, right? Nothing you can do about that. But what we can do is establish a healthy line of thinking in which we're gonna choose a decent option an overwhelming majority of the time, right? Given our opponent's resources, what character are they playing up front? Do they have meter to kill me if this hits? All that stuff matters, right? And so I want you to actively be thinking about that when you're defending. And I know it's difficult. It's difficult for you because, you know, you're playing on high ping and shit like that. But I think the philosophy will go a long way. It will go a long way. You'll end up winning out on situations a lot more than you are now. And the reason is because people really overextend. Like, they really do. They overextend a lot, right? Like, how many times have we seen someone go for a grab, right? And they whiff and then they mash reflect, right? If you're patient, right? And not, you know, jumping the gun, that's a free punish. Free punish in my eyes, right? And that's what I mean by, like, eventually people will just get frustrated with running offense and not hitting their opponent for long enough, right? People really get frustrated, and so they will do everything possible from that point to try to get the hit by any means necessary. And the moment that they overextend, we got to be ready to punish, right? But the overall sentiment of this is, like, establish a healthy defensive philosophy. You have more available, right? It's not as simple as grab or no grab. There are situations where one option will cover both, right? Because we have a ton of things available to us. We have GC, we have GC Vanish, we have, you know, our OS options, OS Jump, OS Tag, OS Buttons. We have all that. We have so many things we can do. And so I don't want you to overcompensate, because that's a lot of times whenever I give people analysis, they overcompensate. I tell them, you have trouble with this, or you're getting hit by this a lot, and they go to the other end of the spectrum, right? And the goal is to find a middle ground, a healthy middle ground. You don't want to be too far to one end, or else you're going to get smoked by something really hard. It's going to be really frustrating. finding that middle ground where, you know, I'm decent enough against grabs, but I'm also decent enough against frame traps and whatnot. So I'm not getting blown up on 5LL for trying to hold up every block string. That's going to be really important. But I think right now, what you need to focus on, right, is your neutral philosophy, right? Neutral and your Oki, right? So neutral this game, like, you played it okay. It was like okay. But I need you to think a little bit harder about what you're doing. And like, so at some point in this set, I could sense the frustration. Use your movement a little bit more, right? I want you to use your point character a little bit more. Especially like when your opponent is putting themselves at their weakest part of the screen, right? Gotta be ready to capitalize. The 16 goes into the air, right? I'm moving forward. I'm moving forward on 16 because his air key blast is not that good. So I'm moving forward. Fuck it, bro. Right? That's the type of stuff you want to think about. Think harder and like more into what could happen if the situation doesn't work. Realize that very rarely does a situation go exactly to the T the way that you picture it in your mind, right? You want to always be mindful, because that's the way defense works in this game, right? The way that defense works in this game, you have to be mindful on offense. You have to, right? We can't ignore the what if he reflects situation. We can't ignore the what happens if he delay wake up situation, right? And those situations are the ones that are getting you hit a lot when you're trying to run your offense. And so, contingency plans. This is much easier with the team that you're playing now, because you can call Piccolo orbs, right? But it's a game philosophy thing. Think about it. Think about what happens here, right? And you can lab against that shit too, right? You can lab against what if they do delay wake up into mash, or if they mash reflect on wake up, right? We can lab against all this stuff. But it's going to take practice against actual humans to like implement it, because you want to ingrain this philosophy in your mind, right? What wins games? What wins games is consistency. That's what wins games, right? Keeping yourself safe while running offense. Safe offense, right? Safe offense wins games alone. A lot of people tunnel vision on my team can do this super awesome, amazing 50-50, right? But like, I see way more people get the hit on, wow, I SKD my opponent. Now I'm going to do an anti-reflect string. Wow, my opponent tried to reflect mash or reflect tag. They got hit. Full combo. Full combo, right? And that's what I mean. By at no point should it feel like your offense is your opponent's offense, right? And that is what safe offense is. Safe offense is always mine. Always mine, no matter what. There's no situation where my opponent can choose an option that will turn my offense into their offense, except for sparking, because sparking is broken as shit. So you're playing too much with the idea that it's a one-player game on your offense. It's not. There's a lot of interactions that can happen while you're running your offense, and I think once you start getting a little better at realizing that and setting up these plans, these layered offense, right? Safe layered offense that makes it so you lock out your opponent's options on defense and you don't leave yourself open to being hit for running your Oki or running your offense, you'll be a lot better off. But it's gonna take time for you to ingrain that philosophy in your mind, but you can do it. I'm positive that you can. Absolutely. Decision making could use a little bit of work as well. But like, decision making is something that is really generic, right? All of our decisions can be better. And so situations where I think your decision making can be better. Round start, right? Don't always have to play committal round start. And I'm not saying you did always play committal round start here, but think about it's contextualized, right? It's contextualized. Your round start, whether you want to choose committal or non-committal round start, completely depends on the state of the match, right? What assist does your opponent have? Does your opponent have something really strong or something that they choose a lot on round start, right? That dictates like what you want to do or what you might consider doing. 1v3, right? Committing round start is not great. If you're at a character disadvantage, committing round start becomes much less incentivized because your opponent has more assists, right? To make their round start safer. They have more contingencies available to them. You usually want to focus on creating space between you and your opponent. Let them burn their assist in neutral and then try to play the 1v1 as much as you can. Right? That's how you come back on people. And so, yeah, all these things are important. But really, I think you're being too ignorant of your opponent's options when you're trying to run Oki and when you're running your offense in general, and it's getting you hit a lot. And I think that's part of the reason that you feel so frustrated sometimes, is because a lot of the time whenever you're running your offense, you're getting hit for it. And then you're like, bro, this guy's a fucking masher, right? And you might be right, but if we know that already, right, why would we not set up a plan that stops them from mashing, stops them from reflecting, covers delay wake up, covers up tech backdash, right? We must take the responsibility upon ourselves, right? Can you see the signups for the war or no? No one's gonna see the list until it's time to draft. Keep practicing. Keep practicing. Okay, next. Niggas will really like you people, man. It's every set's gonna be against Premier, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah, mid. Yeah. Bad drop. Hmm. I don't think you should be getting hit by that. That means you were just holding up on Oki. Fucking song is anxiety inducing. Come on, man, you know better. Play this character. You know this doesn't work. You're getting smoked. Doesn't kill you, darn it. Yep. A pretty awkward interaction. Mr. Air dash forward. Can't do jab in place. You have to do air dash forward for this. Offense still needs a lot of work. Do 6M or light. Especially when it's not working. If it were working, then I would let you rock, but it's not working. Didn't have a double jump. Resource management. You spent double jump here, so you don't have it after smash animation. This is the bad resource management. You spent double jump before this JS, and you try to do a double jump combo afterwards until you drop it. Gotta pay attention to shit like that. These hits on the table. After he blocks 6M, wouldn't their 5L clash or is Broly 5L 6 frames? That's not the problem. The problem is he's not getting hits on 6M. First of all. Second, you have 4-frame armor to deal with. He would never want to clash with Vegito anyway, so if he's gonna choose anything, you choose frame 4 armor. In which case you get smoked for pressing 5L afterwards anyway. Until, yeah, it's not worth it. Fucked up that OK pretty hard. You're better off if you have no assist. I like doing backdash OS here when I have no assist available, because if you backdash and he does delay wake up 5L, you full punish him on reaction. I think that would have been a little better in this situation, but honestly, like, you just mistimed your media. That's pretty funny how that worked out. This is really scrambly. He's really like nice. I agree. Wow. I can't believe I fell into that in time. That was close. I was like the last like hit or second to last hit. This is really close. We're gonna talk about that. Game's over here. You press deflect here. As you're coming in from guard cancel, you press deflect, the game's over. Again, no air dash forward. I don't know why you wouldn't take the knockdown there. Just take the vanish combo then, if your beam is not up in time. Yep, sparking transition making a huge difference here. He's getting the hit for sparking almost every time, and you're not ever getting the hit for you burning your sparking. Either works. You can safe jump with either. But if you know someone's gonna spark, there's no reason for you to get hit by the spark. Because if you get hit by the spark, if you get hit by the spark, then you're forced to take some shit. If you don't get hit by the spark, then you're not. You actually have room to play. But if you know for sure, then it doesn't matter whether you do Ghost Oki or level 3. You should always safe jump the spark, but you got hit, so. Alive. Really scrubby, like week 1 Dragon Ball thing to do here. You really let him get out after all that. Tragic. What? Ah. See. Man, y'all really be getting fucked for backdashing. Yep. Man. You're gonna guess. Your timer was up. Okay. First of all, you really gotta work on your mix-ups, man. Really, like, if you don't get the hit with Gotenks ghost stoking people, all you ever do otherwise is 6M and DR, and that shit is it's just not good enough, man. Not good enough. It's not good enough. It needs work. It needs work. Your biggest problem. You're a fucking upholder. That's your problem. You keep thinking that, why do I keep getting hit by safe shit? You know why? It's because jumping has 4 frames of startup. And so if I do a safe jump and I just press a meaty JH, you get hit for trying to hold up. And you literally do it all the time. You hold up on people's level 3 Oki, you hold up on SKD, you hold up like relentlessly. I don't know why you do this, but you literally hold up on people's level 3 Oki. I've seen people, you've played against people's 21s and they level 3 you and you literally hold up. You get level 3'd by 16 this set, you held up. You get level 3 by Broly, you hold up. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with that, but stop holding up. That's why you're getting hit. It's straight up. Like, your opponents are running safe offense, and jumping is not safe on wake up, it turns out. And so you're getting hit, it turns out. Yeah, that's a really big problem. You gotta fix that. And that can be practiced too. So like, if it's a mistake, you're not trying to jump, then you better take your ass to training mode and do a defense bot and practice blocking without jumping. Now, that needs a lot of work. Needs a lot of work. Okay, what else? Oh my god. You need to do better risk reward assessment. Like, I kind of talked about this in one of the previous sets, but like, you got to think about when you're choosing an option, like when you're thinking about an option to choose in neutral, right? You should be thinking, okay, how much do I get if this is successful, and what situation does it put me in if I'm unsuccessful, right? Those are things that you should be able to quickly go over in your mind, right? I feel like you're missing the mark on some of that. Like some of the things that you choose in situations just have really skewed risk reward to the point where like the hit that you would get for being successful is like not even that great. But if you're wrong, you fucking die, right? And like, if you're continually taking risks like that, it's gonna feel really bad. It's gonna feel really, really fucking bad. And so like, I think you need to think more about like when you're choosing an option in neutral. So neutral is where this comes up the most. Like, really think about it, right? Like, think harder about, okay, how do I want to approach? How can I approach the key to Dragon Ball Fighters, right? Here's the key to Dragon Ball Fighters neutral. He who commits the least usually wins. Usually, right? And so your goal in the neutral should be, how do I approach, or how do I pressure my opponent without committing, right? And how do we do that, right? There's a lot of different ways. Play around your assists, right? Use our movement more. You could bias less towards choosing like special moves, right? We talk about these things all the time. Okay, I think that's something you're lacking. I think most of your neutral movements are too committal. You're choosing too many options. You're choosing too many moves instead of choosing to move, right? I think that's a big problem for you. And for that reason, if you go for like a beam in neutral or something like that and you whiff, get punished, right? When you could have just done dash jump plus assist, and that is dual purpose. That's dual purpose. Keeps you safe. If something does not, so we talked about Isaac, right? In Isaac's analysis, I talked about contingency plans. Things don't always go the way that we want them to. And so what choosing a less committal approach does is it lets you approach while also being ready, right? While also being ready if that assist does not make contact and they you know, crank a super dash at you, you're still able to block, right? All of these things. And so I want you to think harder about that. You can't, yeah. So like I said, a lot of you are in places in Dragon Ball Fighters where you're good. You guys are good at you guys are really good at certain things, right? None of you are really good at everything. Just straight up, none of you. Okay. And so the things that you're comfortable with and you're good at, right? You tend to bias towards those situations, which is fine. Playing to your strengths is fine. However, the things that you're not good at, you need a lot of work, right? And there's a spectrum, right? There's a spectrum for every aspect of the game. There's a spectrum, and never do you want to be too far to one side, right? We've seen people that are overly aggressive, right? We've seen people that are just doing nothing, right? Can't be too far to one side. In fact, what you should aim for You might think like finding, being dead center is where you want to be. I actually don't think that's true. I actually think where you want to be is towards the center, but a little bit towards one side. And what side you're on is dependent on what you're good at, right? What is your strength in the game? Are you good at playing reactive? Are you good at playing aggressive, right? And depending on what you're good at, that's what side you should play towards. But I think a lot of the ways that you're thinking about the game right now, Himar, are too binary. The game is not this or that most of the time, right? It's not, there's two options presented to me and I just have to pick one, right? This game is not a constant endless 50-50 in which you constantly have to choose one option or another, right? And one is right and one is wrong. Most of the time, you're presented a wide array of options. And what you choose has to change based on the game state, right? What does my opponent like to do in this situation? I might make my decision based on that. Oh, I'm really good at this particular thing, so I might choose that option. And establishing that is really, really important. Really, really important. Right now, you're having a lot of trouble keeping momentum after you even build advantage for yourself in the first place. And the reason is your offense is not, it's just not good enough. It's not good enough. The aspects of it aren't good enough. You're not mixing hard enough, and there's not enough layers. There's not enough layers. And so I, as your opponent, am incentivized to try things like delay wake up mash or reflect tag, because I know that you're not doing a great job of covering those options. You'll probably be pretty fine if you knock someone down and every single time they actually just block the meaty. You'd probably be pretty okay if that were the situation. But unfortunately, that does not happen very often. And so you need to have these plans ready. You need to be ready for these common scenarios, right? I talk to people a lot about common situations, right? We need to be ready for the situations that occur most often in a game of Dragon Ball FighterZ. You could probably think of a multitude of common scenarios in the game, right? Just to name a few, right? Someone super dashes at you. Common situation. You SKD your opponent. Common situation, right? Things that are gonna happen over and over and over again through the course of the match, right? And you want to be really good against those first. You want to be really good against those first, so that afterwards, after you're done being good against the common shit, we can start thinking about, okay, well, my opponent plays this particular team. My opponent plays this particular character or this particular team comp, so I might have to look for a few more things after that, right? But until you deal with the common situations, right, you can't deal with the uncommon ones, because those uncommon scenarios are heavily based on who you're playing against and what characters they are playing. And so you might be really good at dealing with a certain team comp, but the moment that you play against someone else that runs a completely different style or a completely different comp, you're gonna get smoked. So you want to be really good against the common shit that you're gonna run into against everyone first, and then focus on, trimming the character specific things. And I think that'll help you a lot. But game philosophy is where you're fucking up right now. There's not enough cohesion in your gameplay, right? It's really rough around the edges. There's like, I look at you play and I see someone that like kind of has an idea of what to do in neutral, but not all the way. There's a lot of second guessing, a lot of uncertainty. And then whenever you actually do get the situation where you're able to win neutral and get your opponent into pressure, it's inconsistent and it's second guessing, and it's not good enough, right? And on defense, I see someone that is uncertain of what to do on defense, and so they're choosing jump a lot and they're getting hit for it. This uncertainty has to be quelled, or else you're just not going to get anywhere. You just won't get anywhere. So you need to establish a baseline of, this is what I need to do in games first, and practice against those things over and over again, right? Way less super dashes should be getting through. You should not be getting hit for your SKD Oki nearly as much as you are. Now shit will happen, right? We've all had that happen to us. We knock someone down and we get hit on our Oki. right? That should not be happening often though. Why? Because there's so many things you can do, right? Most of the time when you get hit on your Oki, it's because you overextend. Because you tried to go in and push past your Oki situation without an assist, without a resource, right? You didn't keep delay wake up in mind. You didn't cover a certain tech option, right? And so there's always something you can do. If you have to reset back to neutral, that's fine. Okay. Like fine. Not a big deal. Especially if you like don't have the resources to actually run the offense that you need to run. It's fine. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to stay in and try to keep getting the hit over and over again. And now your opponent gets a free hit on you when they shouldn't have. And that hit will be with 2 assists up because you kind of just gave them a free hit. Like all they did was delay wake up mash. They didn't do anything crazy. And so like, yeah, now you get Bomba and it feels really bad. And that is what I think is leading to a lot of your gameplay feeling really inconsistent right now. Feels like the game plan is not quite there yet. So keep refining the game plan. It needs work. It needs work. But you'll get there eventually. But it's gonna take time. It's gonna take time, and more than time, it's gonna take like really open-mindedness. You're gonna have to do some things that are not gonna feel as comfortable because you've been playing this game for a while now. You've been playing this game for a long time now, and so like what I'm saying is that the defaults that you've built for yourself are not working to the extent that you think they are, and so you're gonna have to change some things, and it's gonna feel uncomfortable. It's gonna feel uncomfortable to change those things at first, but for the long run, you'll be much better off. Any suggestions on what your game plan could be? I can't tell you what your game plan could be, right? You're a different player than me. What works for me might not work for you. That is on you as a player to think about, how do I want to play the game? And then take steps towards getting your gameplay to look the way that it needs to look. But I can't tell you like, yeah, no, you should do this and this and this and this. I can like tell you general things with the characters that you're playing, but at the end of the day, no matter how much I tell someone, you should just go in, 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 right? If they're not someone that is good at going in, or they don't want to play that way, it's not going to work for you. And so I can't tell you how to play like that, right? Your game plan has to come from you. It just feels like nothing is working. Let me put it this way. You might think that nothing is working, but you haven't tried everything. And so you're not in a place to say that. The only people that are able to say nothing is working are people that have tried actually everything, and none of you have. None of you have tried everything. So you got to keep trying new things. Make some adjustments, right? I can listen, I'm just a guide, man. That's it. I can't play the game for you, right? And I know you understand that. I can't play the game for you guys. All I can do is kind of point you in the right direction, but it is on you to walk that path and come out with a good solution. And I will keep helping, but you're the one with the fight stick, bro. Gotta take some initiative. Okay. You're still here in a surprise meeting. You'll catch it in the VOD. Oh, okay. This is Nep and Isaac. A pretty funny round set. So like this, generally like here is where you would be thinking about challenging, because he has spent a lot of resources and not gotten the hit so far. So usually this is where DRs start coming out, is when your opponent has spent all their resources, their offense hasn't, it hasn't resulted in a hit. They're like, okay, what haven't I tried yet? I haven't tried DR yet. And understanding that will go a long way in defensive philosophy for sure. Fine. This is really ugly. pretty unfortunate. Your hit. Hey. Did delay wake up? You see this whiff? That's where you need to press there. Not there on guard point. Dagger. I would consider bringing Vegeta in here. No. What I'm saying is, Nep, if you're gonna delay wake up mash, you need to be ready to react to the whiff button if you actually do get through, right? If you're gonna delay wake up and block, then that's fine. But if you're gonna delay wake up and press something, like, you can't let them whip in your face and then go from there. Whoa! Holy shit! Wow. That was pretty cool. That was cool. Stuff like this is really strong. Call the C assist and just block it out. Let them do the work for you. It's like thing about C assists. Not sure what you went for here, but if you're gonna 6M, if you like jumped afterwards, like, wanted to get away after resetting. Ground backdash is better for that then. If your goal is to just disengage, you got to choose the thing that's fastest. Just trying to jump back idly is not going to work out that well because it's really slow. And you saw he pressed the button to try to clash there and he joed you to the ground. Oh, yeah. Okay, so you can actually react here. Since you make contact here, you can empty vantage this on reaction and get a full punish, or you could level 3 or DP. Yeah, you have a lot of options here. You gotta be mindful of this move because it's a frame 1 invulnerable. It's a frame 1 guard point move. You gotta be mindful of the situation and know what to do against them, especially when you're in Spark, because you have a lot of options. Whole lot of options. Okay. You wanted the major. This. Not even a delay wake up, just a straight up mash 2L on wake up. You have a DP, no? Respectful of orbs, and that might sound really weird to hear me say, right? Orbs are really good and they are to be respected, but they are key blast property, meaning that there's an innate like RPS property whenever you're playing against key blast assist, because GC reflect and GC super dash are are both on the table at all times whenever they're involved. So what you don't want to do, right, is treat these Ki Blast assists like they're beam assists. Because if you just let them do whatever strings that they want, even though it's a Ki Blast assist, you're just going to get ran over. So you want to at least establish that, yes, I know this is a Ki Blast property assist, and I'm gonna try to get around it in some way sometimes, right? You don't have to choose something committal every time, but you have options available to you. You have more options available in this situation than you would for blocking a beam, so you need to treat it as such. With the orbs, you know it's anti-match, so you tried blocking out, but they're still Ki Blasts, right? So that means if you block an orb, you can cancel your block stun into reflect, and cancel your block stun into super dash. And so sometimes you want to try those things. That's all I'm saying. Also, you see him whiff here, right? Saw him whiffing your face. You could have tried pressing something. Pretty scary as Vegeta sometimes. His button's so good. You also could have sparked there. You probably should have sparked there whenever he was going for the disc mix-up. Gotta do a little bit better job protecting your team. Pretty awkward. Yeah, okay. So this only happens because you which will call actually don't know which tech each looks different than originally. Advanced frame. Oh, so it was a grounded tech up. Wonder if you like tap forward or something like that. This looks like auto block. This looks like auto block to me, and then like somehow you got vacuumed out of the corner a little bit by the orb. Guard point. That just sucks. And Isaac is a fucking random ass scrambler. Okay. Here's my assessment, right? You're having trouble with people that are running you down. Is the issue that you're running into. He's just holding forward against you. Over and over again. And so like you're gonna have to realize, like, when you're in matches and you play against people, there's like there's stylistic differences from person to person. I'm sure you understand that, but you have to get better at recognizing it in a game and then adjusting your playstyle based on that. So for example, if someone is running forward and is holding forward against you over and over and over again, what do? You focus on slowing the game down. Create more space between you and him so that there are less scrambles. And so whenever he tries to force his way in, inevitably, it gives us many more avenues to punish or to cut off his approaches. And you kind of had trouble with that. So for example, if I'm going into a match and I think someone is very scrambly or they're hyper aggressive, I have no reason to play round start against them, right? Because round start is something that incentivizes people who like to scramble, people who like to kind of YOLO, right? And so if I start off the round by, backing off, creating space between me and them, then I don't give them a free hit to start their offense. And that's really important because depending on the team, they might have a team that is really good at, once they get in, at staying in. And so it's gonna feel really snowbally. It's gonna feel really snowbally for you. It's gonna feel like you got hit once and then you never got to play again. At least on, you know, on that character. So focus on focus on movement, right? That could definitely use some work. But maintain your variability, right? There are a lot of situations where like the round would start, right? Let me see if I can pull up an exact scenario so it's easier for you to understand. So like you chose committal round start here, right? The clash didn't work out for you. Okay. So once you lose a character, right? You come in with Kefla, right? Another committal round start. Might not seem like key blasting is a super huge commitment, but it is on round start scenario. What's with this round start? So this time you backdash, right? And this is fine. Where you messed up is going for ball here. It's too slow. So if you're gonna backdash, so the goal, right? Here's the goal. The goal with doing this backdash on round start is saying, I want there to be space between my opponent and me, right? That is what that backdash says. And so you need to be ready to play reactive after you do these things. Because for all you know, maybe your opponent did choose something that was committal on round start, right? What if they chose Lariat? While you're doing that backdash, you have to be able to recognize, oh, he chose Lariat, so I can actually get a punish. Or maybe they did full screen super dash. I need to be ready to punish, right? And so it's not just a one-step thing. It's not like, okay, you play the round start and the round start is just done, right? Often what will happen is that both players will choose an option on round start, but the actual interaction comes from what happens immediately after, right? So if both of you choose an option and it results in neither of you getting the hit immediately, the situation right after is where the most interaction between you and your opponent is gonna happen. And that's where you need to play reactive. So you need to play a little bit slower, right? You already chose to back off on the round start, so why not play reactive and wait to see what he does? You don't have to commit to doing this ball because you've already accomplished your main goal. Creating space between you and him so you don't have to scramble, right? So now, since you know he's not relying on his long range options all that much, he's gonna try to force his way into the mid range, into the close range. And you punish him for doing that, right? That's what I mean. That's really important because you got hit on round start a lot this year, like a lot. Understand your defensive options. So we talked about the delay wake up situation. You delay wake up, and so the thing is like you delay wake up, and then as you're waking up, your character has invulnerability, right? That's just how it works. As you're waking up, your character has invulnerability. Your opponent has to like throw a proper media in order to force you to block after you do delay wake up. But what happens a lot of the time is people anticipate on offense. They knock their opponent down and they see that they're delay wake uping, right? And the first time they see their opponent start to wake up, they automatically press the button, right? But a lot of the time that'll be too soon because you still have that invulnerability while you're waking up. So if they throw something and you see them whiff in front of you on a delay wake up, most of the time you can just punish, right? That's why delay wake up is so fucking annoying. It's really, really fucking irritating to do something like that and get hit for it. Exceptions to the rule, right? If they melee also with an assist, then that completely changes things, right? But you can know because if they're trying to cover your wake up with an assist, they're gonna have to call it early, right? Because assists have travel time and they have startup. So if you see him call like Piccolo orbs to melee you on your wake up, then you're like, okay, I'm not mashing it. I'm not. If you see him call up Piccolo to be meaty, then you're like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna do something else. But if you see them, with a solo character and you do delay wake up and they whiff in your face, like at least gotta try to get your turn back there. More with defensive options, right? Be aware of all of the options you have available to you. It's not as simple as, we have our tech options and we have delay tech and that's all I can do. A lot of people feel like that's the way the game works, but it doesn't. How the game actually works is a situation happens and you have probably like around 10 options that you can choose. And it is on you as a player to recognize what is most likely to work, because you can never know, right? So like I said before, sometimes your opponent just chooses the perfect option. That happens, right? But what we can do is we can bias towards the options that have the highest percentage of us being successful. And that's what you should do. And to do that, right, you need to be aware of all the options that you have available to you. Yes, you have delay wake up, right? But you also have the other tech options. You have up tech, right? You have in place tech, you have down tech whenever you're midair. You also have stuff for block strings. You have guard cancel. You have guard cancel vanish. You have OS defense, right? You have OS mash, OS raw tech, OS jump. You have character specific options. Vegeta has a DP. Jiren has a frame 1 counter. People have level 3 reversals, right? People have frame 1 air invulnerable command grabs. You see how many options I just named just now? Like there's so much more that you have. Like there's so many things that you are able to do, but you have to be aware, right? You have to be aware that, okay, this might be an option worth exploring. And sometimes out of all those options that I told you about, right? Sometimes it's just better to block, right? Sometimes it's just better to block because blocking has a super sick property where you exhaust your opponent's resources without having to do pretty much anything. So especially if it's a solo character that doesn't have an unreactable command grab, I'm pretty comfortable blocking. There. So long as you're comfortable against like the standard like universal offense stuff, like, you know, they 6M you or they DR you, right? But blocking is not losing in this game. In fact, a lot of the time you get a lot more options for blocking, and so blocking becomes stronger once you realize those options, if that makes sense, right? Blocking is already really strong, but it becomes infinitely more strong when you're someone that realizes all the defensive options you have at your disposal and are choosing the options that are most likely to work in those scenarios. And so blocking, the stock in blocking goes way up once that happens. So you need to gain a better understanding of that. But mostly the biggest feedback I have is really pay attention to how your opponent is playing the game, right? And think about how should you be playing to counteract that? If your opponent is playing hyper aggressive, what do I need to do to stop the hyper aggression? Try to play that way. Right? Oh wait, hold on. So it's not as simple. A lot of the time it's not as simple as people make it. But you need to make the game, you need to simplify the game for yourself, if that makes sense. So a lot of the time people go in with no semblance of game plan. They don't really understand everything that's going on, and so whenever they get thrown into these situations that are not as comfortable, they look lost and they get run over, and it feels like they're not able to get anything done. And the reason is because they do not have that understanding of what all options do I have available to me at this point in time, right? So think about that and then work on using those options, right? Because that's going to take time too. It's not enough to just understand. If this game was just about understanding, I would be the best player in the world. Straight up. But it's not about that. It's about understanding and then also implementation. How do we implement our ideology? Once you get both of those, you're a top player. That's how it goes. It takes a lot of work to get there. So you got to start with the first step. Think about what needs to happen when you get put when you're on defense. Think about what you have available to you, right? Conversely, when you're running your offense, think about what your opponent has available to them, right? That's also important. I was talking to Hemar and Isaac about, you know, contingency plans. How do we set up our offense in a way that covers a bunch of options so we don't have to worry about as many things? That's just as important. Gain your understanding first, and then, you know, practice doing them in game. And like I said, you're gonna get hit. You're gonna get hit sometimes trying new things, but I'm someone that is way more focused on the idea or the ideology behind a decision more than the decision itself, right? Not all mashes are created equally, for example. you might see me say good mash to someone in one situation, and someone else does the quote unquote same mash, and I say it's bad. It's because everything in this game is contextualized, right? And the context that drives these decisions are the resources, right? Is there a 50-50 you have to be worried about? Does your opponent have meter to do what they want to do? Do they have an assist? Do they not have an assist? Or is there a double jump expended, right? All those things determine, all those drive what makes a mash or any defensive option or any decision in general good or bad, right? If your opponent's running 2 pseudo beam assists that cover horizontals really well, running full screen and trying to press 5L is probably not a great idea. That idea might be a lot better if your opponent is playing really airborne and they have no assists, right? And so while they may look like they're the same in essence, they're not based on the context of the game. So you should think about that. You want to be constantly mindful of these things. And once you get comfortable enough with these situations that come up over and over again, then you can start working on, very specific things. But we want to work on the general purpose stuff first and then work on the specific stuff after. Okay, cool. That was cool. That was all I had for analysis today.